Hey class, I just wanted to make a really short video. I've had a few questions coming through on email about the Unit 4 assignment and how to type in the symbols. So you're not expected to find symbols on your keyboard because they are special statistical symbols. I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. But here's the thing, make sure you've done the reading and that you have looked through your Unit 4 seminar slides. I've got the slides on the screen right now. But as you go through the slides, let me try to find some where you're going to see the symbols. This will start to show you the symbols. So like on this first example, you see on the right-hand side, you see that this is an example of what a one sample test for means would look like for the HO and the HA. So I'm going to be showing y'all how to find this mu symbol. It looks like a long-tailed U. And how to find the inequality symbols and so forth. But look at the slides because there's going to be a mixture. This is an example of what the hypotheses look like for a one sample test for means. But then, and here's another one sample, because you only see one mu symbol right there in the HO and the HO and the HA. Then you come down to later on, let's see, here's another one sample over here. But then you get to a two sample on the right-hand side, where now instead of talking about just one sample, we're talking about two samples. And if you look at the question carefully, like you're going to need to do, it says, do males have higher mean final exam scores than females? So now there are two groups that we're going to be comparing. The mean final exam score for males is going to be represented as group 1. And so the mean will be mu1 with the little subscript. And the mean final exam score will be represented by mu2. So that when you look at the HO and the HA, you now see mu1 and mu2 symbols, along with the equal sign in the null and the inequality sign in the alternative. And if you read through the slides and read through your text, you'll realize how you decide whether the equal sign, where it should go and what type of inequality symbol should go in the alternative. We will also, of course, talk about that in the Sunday seminar following winter break. But in the meantime, just do your reading and look through the slides. The slides ought to be very helpful. So we used to have a few terms ago in WileyPlus, the system used Flash, and so the symbols were already in a palette for you just to pick out. But Flash is getting ready to go away and not be enabled by different browsers. So we had to get that changed, and so it definitely is a new looking sort of platform when you get a question that asks you for symbols. So I am getting ready to show y'all how to do that. But you definitely are going to want to look at this one sample and two sample stuff so that you'll know whether to use these little subscripts with the ones and the twos or whether to just use a regular mu symbol if it's a one sample test. All right, so let me go ahead and pull up the WileyPlus. So here's a sample question in your actual assignment. And for part A, it says state the null and alternative hypotheses. But what you've got to make sure you do is read the question or read the paragraph up here carefully. For a random sample of households in the U.S., we record annual household income, whether the location is east or west of the Mississippi River, and the number of children. We are interested in determining whether there is a difference. So you're going to really want to look out for keywords, whether there's a difference, whether something's higher, whether something's lower. So difference is going to be a keyword right there. And it says difference in average. So you know you're going to be using symbols for means, the mu symbols. Average household income between those east of the Mississippi and those west of the Mississippi. So we're comparing two groups. And it tells you down here, let group 1 be the households east of the Mississippi and group 2 be the households west of the Mississippi. So I don't want to give you the answer for this one, but I will tell you that, you should clearly on this one realize that there are two groups that you're comparing and that you're comparing means because it said the keyword average up here. So when you go in to put in the symbols, you're going to want to click on Edit. And then the statistical symbols are down here on this little tab that looks like an alpha and a beta. So I'm going to click on that. So that, let's suppose I wanted to put the null as the two groups being equal. And of course, I'm not going to tell you the correct answer, so this may not be the correct answer. Just realize that this video is mainly to show you how to learn to type in the symbols into these homework questions. So I may click my mouse into the HO, the null hypothesis box, and you have to make sure you click your mouse in there so that you see this little orange flashing cursor here. And then mu1 would be typed in down here with this long-tailed mu, which is the mean. So I'll click that. But if I didn't previously, like let's suppose I just try to now click the 1, that will be counted as incorrect simply because that's not the way you type in mu1. You need subscripts. So I'm going to go backspace over these, and the subscript is up here where you see my mouse, and I'm going to click on that so that now in the big box I'm clicking my mu, and in the smaller box I'm going to put in the 1. Then notice the little cursor is small. In order to get it big again, I'm going to click my right arrow on my keyboard. When I click my right arrow, it makes that cursor big again so that I could then go and click my equal sign and then go back and do subscript and then maybe have mu2. And that would, be a logical kind of answer for the null. So that in the alternative, you might have like mu1 not equal to mu2 or mu1 greater than mu2 or something like that. I mean, for example, I would go back and click this, click mu, put the 1 in again. Oops, didn't do it, so backspace. Go back, click subscript, click mu, click in the box, click the 1. But again, click my right arrow so it makes the cursor big. And then I might decide that I'm going to do greater than mu2. So go back and click the subscript, click the mu, and click my mouse in the subscript box and then put the 2. And then right arrow. And then, if you think that's what you want, then you would go ahead and just press save and close. And it should then let you know if you've got it correct or not. I'm not going to click it because I don't want you to see if that's the correct answer or not. But again, this video is just to show you that is how you're going to enter the symbols. So there is no need for these symbols on the keyboard. In fact, they're not there. You'll use them right off of this template, this editor. But make sure you click this little one because you're going to have your mu symbols. If you need P's, here's a P symbol. But whatever you need on top of them, like if you're doing X bars and things, then you'll notice up here, like when I click, say this thing up here, that is where you're going to have like an arrow on top of something. I mean, you just have to sort of play around with what symbols you're going to need. Most of the symbols that you're going to need, I'm going to delete that. Most of the symbols that you're going to need are mainly these mu1 and mu2 symbols. All right. Or if it's a 1 sample, you wouldn't have the subscript. Like let's suppose I wanted to go back here and just have mu equals 20, like you saw in one of those PowerPoint slide examples. And then let this one be mu, so I'm going to delete that, mu, and then not equal to 20. So if you get a 1 sample question, you would just have mu and not use the subscript box. But if you get a 2 sample, you're going to definitely want to use this button a lot that you saw me click during this video, which was the, subscript box. So I hope that's helpful for you if you've been, wanting to get an early start on Unit 4. Remember, you don't have to start Unit 4 if you don't want to and can wait until break is over. But, some people were getting an early start and this was confusing for them. So I hope that cleared it up. Do not hesitate to reach out if other questions come up.